52 days to election 2024. Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. Tonight, Electoral Commission disqualifies the Amenfi Central Constituency candidate for the NDC, Joana Gyan Cudjoe. I have details of that. Please do stay with me. Also, minority MPs accuse government of politicizing the distribution of foodstuffs and financial aid to farmers affected by the dry spell as they make a case for members of parliament to be included in the distribution process.
Handout to about 800,000 so-called farmers in the name of drought reliefs.
How many members of parliament from the north have been so engaged?
So this matter ought to be interrogated.
But the Peasant Farmers Association disagrees with them.
Politicians are now taking over the job of agri directors because the politicians are in their hands. And we want to prevent such a situation. So we don't even support the call for the MPs for them to say that they should be part. No.
Also tonight,
when I said I was putting my presidency on the line, that's what I meant. That I was prepared to take the political risk involved in trying to deal with this galamsey phenomenon.
Tonight, President Akufo-Addo incurs the wrath of eco-conscious civil society organizations, including the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining, for retreating claims he placed his presidency on the line despite the political risk.
When he put his presidency on the line in 2017, we saw the result in terms of even the stability of water. So definitely at some point, the presidency was taken off the line.
We have details also on the campaign trail today. President Akufo-Addo is going all out on former President Mahama, describing him as the only president without a legacy, plus questioning his decision not to participate in the presidential debate.
Why is John Mahama running away from the debate? Bawumia says he's ready. Why is Mahama running away from the debate? The people of Ghana deserve the debate so they can see, freely, who is doing what and saying what.
And we've been hearing from the Movement for Change. They say the election is between Alan and Mahama. Bawumia is not part.
This election, 7 December, is between Alan Chamanten and John Mahama. MPP will be third in these elections.
We have details of that also in business.
An energy expert downplays impact of Sonia Sogli's shutdown on power supply in the country.
And in sports, former GFA Vice President George Afrique calls on the association to keep faith with Otto-Addo, citing that he will be able to turn things around.
And we have our National Science and Maths quiz. Old Toms, gather round. It's light out for you. And you've proven that God is indeed not an old Tom. You didn't make it to the 1-8 stage. Do stay.
St. Thomas Aquinas Senior High School had 28 points. Unfortunately, the journey ends for you here. Hopefully next year we'll see you and you put up a much better performance.
That's and more in tonight's edition of Newsnight here on Joy 99.7 FM. Where is Evans Menta? Please do join us with your thoughts and comments. It's via WhatsApp 055-11-11997. We're live here on Joy 99.7 FM, on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, myjoyonline.com, on X Spaces, on Facebook, and hit me with your comments. #Newsnight. I am MFR Pau. Please do stay for details. Thanks for staying with us. This is your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. And tonight, the Electoral Commission has disqualified the Amenfi Central Constituency candidates for the NDC, Joana Gyan Cudjoe. And a member of our political affairs desk, Samuel Kojo Brace, joins me in studio with that letter that was written by the Electoral Commission's chairperson, deputy chairperson, operations, Samuel Tete, to Joana Gyan Cudjoe. Well, Brace, what does it say?
It says, I bring you greetings from the Electoral Commission and trust this letter finds you well. The Commission's attention has been drawn to an order for interlocutory injunction dated 31st May 2024 in respect of a suit entitled Jedu Frimpong and 4 others versus Joana Gyan Cudjoe, the National Democratic Congress and the Electoral Commission, suit number E12/36/24 by the High Court 2nd D. The order states as follows. It is ordered that until the final determination of the matter, the affected parties are restrained as follows. A. The first defendant or respondent for holding herself out as a duly elected NDC parliamentary candidate for the Amenfi Central constituency. B. The second and third defendant, respondent, their agent and officers for holding out, allowing the first defendant or respondent to be held out, dealt with in any way, recognized or afforded any rights or privileges as a duly elected NDC parliamentary candidate for the Amenfi Central constituency. The said order has neither been stayed nor vacated. Hence, the commission is bound by same. In this regard, we write to inform you that you have been disqualified from standing as a candidate for election to parliament in your constituency. Thank you. And it's signed by Samuel Tete.
Thank you very much, Samuel Cudjoe, for the details of that particular communication from the Electoral Commission to Mrs. Joana Gyan Cudjoe, the Amenfi Central Constituency MP or candidate for the NDC. And thankfully, we've been joined on the phone by the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Gbande. We're grateful for your time here on Newsnight. I bet this has been brought to the party's attention.
No, I think that this just happened. We haven't even had, our attention has not been drawn to it. It will be a surprise, but we'll look into the issues and then advise ourselves appropriately.
Is it the case that the party was unaware at all about this case that was pending in court since the 31st of May 2024?
Well, we knew that there were previous contentions which led to a suit. But consequentially, the party declared the disputed results null and void, which were released being sought in the court at the first place. The sitting MP participated in the subsequent primaries, but withdrew at some point, which I wouldn't want to speak on right now. But when it becomes important, we'll speak to it. But subsequent to that, the election saw Joana Gyan Cudjoe going alone because the sitting MP, for some circumstances, withdrew. So she went unopposed. And so she was duly declared, and there haven't been any contention over that election after her declaration.
Well, at least if you say there was no contention, at least we beg to differ on that, because we've been hearing from the MP himself mentioning the circumstances and the communist inferior tactics that was employed such that he was taken out of the race when indeed he claims that the opponent actually forged documents, yet the party did not side with him.
Well, I think the sitting MP himself forged documents in the opportunity given to him to go and contest. He forged documents.
He also forged documents.
The vetting committee warned him that if he doesn't withdraw, we're going to cite him for forgery. That is how come he withdrew. And so when you make such derogatory comments about party leadership and you are a crook yourself, you forge documents when they gave you the opportunity to go and contest. What is he talking about?
I'm wondering...
The recent contest that the party opened, for him to go and contest, he picked a form, but he forged documents. He used people's ID card without their consent. And so the committee, the vetting committee, humbly advised him under the circumstance to step down. Because you would have been cited for forgery. And he is a sitting member of parliament. He would have been standing criminal trials by now. That is how come he withdrew. So if he is accusing the party of using communist interior tactics, when he had agents at the place, he participated in the election, that saw Joana Gyan Cudjoe winning. He went to court. And we declared the election null and void. Organized fresh election. Why should the candidate be affected in the first place? That's why I'm saying that we don't want to go into details until I sought direction from the General Secretary. Then we'll take it forth.
Well, I know
with this issue squarely.
Well, I know we are just scratching the surface, but I'm wondering, and I've seen messages, one wondering how come the sitting MP will be engaged in forging documents. How did he get there in the first place? Are you saying he got there through forgery as well, such that you would have to forge signatures and all?
We will get to a point where the embarrassment he's seeking for, he will get it squarely. Because I am saying on authority that the only reason we have pampered this guy for far too long. You've contested an election and you have lost that election. And the party have moved on. The party engaged you. Council of Elders engaged you.
It doesn't look like the party moved on because we've seen what is happening in Parliament. For the benefit...
How many people should go to election and when they lose, they will decide to betray the party and should be entertained? Such indiscipline act on a sitting member of Parliament should not be countenanced by the party when particularly we have an important election to win. And I'm saying on authority, when we declared that election null and void and afforded him the opportunity to contest again, if he believed there were any issues, he forged documents. That MP forged documents. Party forged documents, which is why he was advised to step back. And that is why he didn't contest. He forged the document. He picked a form and forged people's signatures, people's numbers into his filing form. So he was going to be cited for forgery, which is why he honorably exited from the election. And so when you fictitiously go behind accusing party leadership of, masterminding your removal, I think it's sickening. And it shouldn't be entertained by anybody.
One wonders why then?
Party cannot hold the party to ransom. He should not, because the party made him. Party should not hold the party to ransom.
Well, Mr. Gbande, then one wonders why the party would then not put the final nail in the coffin by actually writing to the speaker to declare his seat vacant. It does appear that he supported.
Stubborn dead body, you have a stubborn way of burying the dead body. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross. And I'm repeating that.
Tell me about it.
Let Kwasi hold the party to ransom.
Tell me about this stubborn burial you talk about. How are you going to deal with it?
When we get there, we will cross. I'm saying he has started the fire, and we will expose him.
Are we not there already? We've seen what is happening in Parliament. And your candidate, Mr. Gbande, and your candidate has also been disqualified by the EC.
And we will put his forged documents for the public to know the caliber of person who is running around and pretending that we have found a way of removing him and that he couldn't have lost an election. You contested an election by somebody and you lost. You contested the election and then we declared it null and void. We reorganized fresh election. Go and file your form. You went and forged people's signatures and people's ID numbers.
It's a little too late now because the party did not raise these concerns earlier. But the matter at hand.
It's too late because the party will not embarrass its members until its indisciplined, embarrassed members expose themselves. And Kwasi have taken the lead. So the party will proceed to let him know his level.
Okay. Well, what happens? Your candidate has been disqualified. What exactly is the action that the party is going to take in this particular regard?
That is why I need the advice and direction of my general secretary and party elders. The national chairman is alive, he's there. The flag bearer is alive. This decision that just came out, we will take direction from them and then we'll proceed to deal with the issue as it ought to be.
Well, it didn't just come out though. The letter is dated 10th October. You must have heard from the candidate yet, haven't you?
Well, I think that, we just seen the letter today. We're just talking about how it hasn't come to my attention.
Okay.
We're just talking about it today, and I believe that my general secretary wouldn't have been in the know. And so we will reconvene and we'll deal with it squarely.
Okay.
But I'm saying that Kwasi will not be allowed to hold the party to ransom. He is not the only individual who have contested an election.
But in a situation like this, what does your statutes allow as a party? What then happens?
In the context that a member have gone to contest for independence.
It's not the independent one I'm talking about, the disqualification, for instance. Exactly.
Well, I think that again, the EC is opening a window for the MPP to bite at the NDC. And so all of this is, maliciously motivated. It wouldn't be a genuine cause because...
That's what your statutes say. That's what your party statutes say. I'm asking about your party statute, Mr. Gbande.
NDC, it's not a previous election. It's a subsequent election which was organized and declared her a duly contested, a duly won candidate. It is not the previous election. That election was nullified by the party. It was rerun, and in the process, the sitting member of parliament forged documents. And so when he forged documents, he stepped aside. And then the party went ahead to pronounce the candidate, unopposed. So Electoral Commission cannot say that because of the previous matter, he is restraining the candidate from contesting. This issue is subject to litigation, but the Electoral Commission knows that the time will not be sufficient enough for the party to deal with this. So why is he putting us in this situation?
Okay, I'm sure you say you take...
We'll go back and reconvene and deal with it appropriately.
Okay, so you made some allegations openly against Mr. Kwasi, and thankfully he's joined us on the line. Please stay with me and let's hear him out as well, since you've made some allegations against him. Peter Kwasi Aka is the Amenfi Central MP, the subject of controversy right now in Parliament, and he's joined us on the line. We're grateful for your time. It does appear that we've lost Mr. Kwasi on the line, but earlier he told my colleague Kwekwa Sante about how he feels about everything that is happening in Parliament. He's still on, Mr. Amenfi. No, it does appear I don't have him. But let's hear him, what he said earlier.
Very true that I've filed as an independent candidate. I'm the sitting MP for Amenfi Central. And then I went into primaries. There were some more practices and irregularities in the primaries. And some group of people petitioned the party and later ended up in court that the person who came up first was not qualified.
Well, I'll have to cut into that because I'm told that Mr. Kwache has joined us on the line once again. Mr. Kwache, thank you so much for joining us here on Newsnight.
Okay.
Well, if you can hear me, there are a few issues I'd want you to clarify for us. First off, we are told that the allegations you made against your party are inaccurate. In fact, you were the one that forged documents. How come?
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. And good evening to your viewers and listeners. Yes. I think I was interviewed on what happened, why I went as an independent candidate. And in my discussion, I said that the first primary was nullified. And we were made to believe that there was going to be another attempt, which I just filed. And then we went, it was given the prompt on Friday, actually, and we were supposed to present it on Monday, on Saturday morning. I sent the paper to the village for my agents there to make sure that they get the signatures as required by the prompts. So they brought it Wednesday morning, 7 o'clock, and then I presented. I was still in the car. Yeah, I have to send it by WhatsApp to people there to go and fill the forms. And then they brought it back early in the morning by car and presented. So I presented a room for the interview 7 o'clock in the morning. In the course of the vetting, they told me that they have noticed some sort of anomalies in some of the people who filled the forms. And they told me some, according to them, the proof of how those things were not genuine. I thought, okay, I don't have a problem. I was not around when it filled. Given the time, I sent it to the constituency for them to fill it up. And I brought up, this is what I was able to present.
We are told that you used ID cards of constituents without their knowledge, and that some of the things that you submitted or some of the documents that you submitted were actually forged documents. How come? How would you do that as a sitting MP?
I told them that I was not aware, and as I said, I sent this form to the village to be completed, and they brought it. I mean, early in the morning, 7 o'clock, the paper was brought, and they went for the interview. So I presented it straight away. And then in the course of the interview, they said they have found some anomalies. Some of the signatures were not right, and some people failed. The party's ID cards were not correct. I said, well, I have no opportunity to contest that because I was all around. I sent it to the village for them to fill it up. And then, so if it is so, they said they were going to disqualify me, and I was not good enough. At least even within 3 hours, I would have been able to fill the form. I said, well, they don't have anything. If they want to disqualify me, they should go ahead. So, which they did. And, well...
Then, but if you agreed at that level that what you did was wrong and accepted that you should be disqualified, how then do you now betray your party and go as an independent candidate? Is the concern for your party now?
I have not betrayed the party. I have not betrayed them. And I have not told you that... I was not okay with it. Well, if you have disqualified me, I have no cause to complain because I told you that I never filled the form. I sent the form based on the situation of the situation. And the form was given 12 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday.
But Mr. Aka, you have a responsibility to make sure that the documents that you present, because you want to be a member of parliament or you're a sitting MP, so you have a responsibility to ensure that what you present is accurate.
Well, I never argued on that. I said, well, I never filled it up, but I didn't give the quotation on using the head that wears the crown. So if there are mistakes, I take responsibility for that. So they should go ahead and do whatever they I never argued. Anyway, I was not in the position to prove that what they were saying was right. But I accepted and said, no problem. If that is what they have found out, well, I never failed them, and still I bear responsibility for that. So they went ahead and well, listen, disqualified me. But what I even called the deputy vice chairman that they made an announcement that I had given my full support to the candidate.
But I heard you this morning, Mr. Aka, tell my colleague in Parliament, actually accusing the other candidates of also forging documents like you were accused of, for which reason you say the party had treated you unfairly. That's what you told my colleague this morning.
Yes. I said that this lady was sent to court by some petitioners based on the fact that her documents were not right and that she was not eligible to contest. I mean, some of the documents, the voter ID card, the party card and all. And so that was a bone of contention. And yet, when we came for the second time, these things she was passed, and I was rather pleased. So if I had presented wrong decisions, if you disqualify me and disqualify the other lady also.
Well,
yes, she was passed.
Well, the lady you're talking about, Joana Gyan Cudjoe, today we are learning that the Electoral Commission has disqualified her based on that case that you talk about, you make reference to in court. Yeah. You feel you've been vindicated?
Well, I don't think the EC disqualified it based on those ones. The EC, I saw the letter, the EC is contending that the injunction of her.
Exactly, because it's still pending and all that. Reason why they've put him on or put her on hold. That's why I'm asking. You feel vindicated following that the EC has now disqualified her?
Well, I don't think I feel vindicated, but I think those who send the matter to court and even the constituency executives before the primaries, many of them had complained. They are petitioning the party in the Western region. They have continued to visit the party in the national level, and she was passed. And then there was right some people were not happy with it, and they went to court. I think the court put the action there. And due to that, I read the letter that due to that, the EC says since it's been injuncted, they are not ready. They cannot access to contest the election.
Are you happy about the decision?
Well, I'm indifferent. Indifferent because, well, I'm not the one to say that I'm happy or I'm not happy about it. Well,
but considering all that is happening and you being at the center of the controversy, also in Parliament, do you feel that it's time for you to just bow out or let sleeping dogs lie, or you're ready to fight it to the end?
Fight what? Because now I've filed as an independent candidate, and I think my party should even be happy about that.
You still consider yourself as an NDC member?
Of course. I've not resigned from the party. I've not resigned from the party. I will always say that the party has done a lot for me because I was a marine chief engineer on the ship, and I was earning good money, but nobody knew me. And when I came into politics and the party gave me this opportunity, now everywhere I pass, people know me. And I think for that much, I'm most grateful.
Then why are you treating your party this way then, by going as an independent candidate?
I sister, sometimes we need to take certain decisions. I feel that even if this lady had been disqualified, if Joana Gyan has been disqualified, surely, that means that the party should be grateful that I'm a party member. I'm a certain member of the parliament for the party, and looking filed as an independent. So what is the problem? We should all come together. In case I win, I'm still an NDC person. I've not resigned. So these things do happen. So I don't think that I've treated the party badly at all. I don't hold grudges against the party. As I said, since this matter came up, I've never openly, I've never come out to say anything about the case or about the party. No, it is based on the fact that people interviewed on why I went on the independent. That is why today I'm being interviewed. But this thing happened about 1 year ago. No,
it's coming up because of the decision in Parliament. It's not that we are just raising the issue. So for you right now, the NDC needs you following the disqualification of Joana.
I believe that we can collaborate. There's no need to stretch this matter at all. No. Sometimes certain things happen for good. like the Bible says, all things work together for good to them that love God and are called according to His purpose. So that now I filed as an independent, but I could stand in as a candidate for the NDC. So I think it went well for the party. So I think, as I said, even when I lost, I have been on several media platforms to campaign for the party, to speak for the party, because I'm a member of the communication team. I've never mentioned anything about the election or anything about this Joana Gyan case. I've never. I don't ever remember it. But maybe if I'll say it, maybe in private or that. But in open, I've never said anything about that. So now I took this decision to go as independent, and I think now if it has come out that, and I think unless I forgot, when this lady filed as a PC for the distance, you can ask those who are making the accusation that one man from the national headquarters, one Dr. Ahen, kept to file as an independent. I think that is what made me also file as an independent candidate. Because if this man is the deputy national international relations officer from the national headquarters, and if we have a candidate and it goes to file as an independent, then it leaves room for some doubt. So if you could check my distance.
So you're saying that you are not alone. You are not alone in this. Okay, Ms. Agwachi, we'll leave it here for now. We are grateful for your time. And that's Mr. Kwachi Aka, Peter Yao Kwachi Aka. He's the Amenfi Central MP currently, an independent candidate in the area. And we've had some clarity on this particular EC communication. And something is giving me some direction on this. It will be strange that the basis for disqualification will be this, because the interlocutory injunction is what they're seeking and not perpetual injunction at the end of the case. So they are wondering why the EC is using disqualified in this situation, and this is an issue that we'll be interrogating further in the coming days. My colleague Kwekwa Sante is with me on the line. Maybe briefly we'll take reactions from Parliament on this, considering what's been happening. But of course, if we get him, we'll be able to give some clarity to what exactly members of Parliament are saying regarding this. But some of your messages that you've sent in, Musa Batwa in Aswasi says President Akufo-Addo's recent remarks calling for John Mahama to make public statements on Galamsey are unfortunate. This is a story we are coming to shortly. And this one from Kokumauli Nanegbe says, is it not curious that President Akufo-Addo, who himself, disrespectful of Ghanaians, refused to participate in the presidential debate in 2016 and 2020, all of a sudden finds presidential debate so important? Why did he refuse to participate? By the way, President Akufo-Addo should rather use the time to make himself available to the Ghanaian media he has been running away from the past 5 years for scrutiny. Nana Spinks Road says, please ask the president why he's also running away from a debate with Mahama at a stage talking about previously. Also, has the government paid any monies to the people in the vulture after the dam disaster as people lost their livelihoods? So I'm sure he's making reference to the dry spell and the monies that have been giving. And Hafiz has this one, says Professor Michael Quay, saying that if an independent member of parliament decides to join a political party to contest as a candidate for a political party, it still has to take a political party to communicate to parliament. That's the question that will be observed, as the independent member of parliament is not cross-carpeting from any political party. Some of your messages that you've sent in. Let's do business with George. When we return, we'll have more of the stories for you and the ones that you're making reference to tonight. George.
Well, coming up, energy expert downplays impact of Sunwa Segli's shutdown on power supply. And senior manager Deloitte describes World Bank inflation forecast for next year as expected, as he indicates that the single-digit target could be realized soon. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, Sinter Tanks and Pepsodent Herbal and Charcoal. Welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, an energy expert, Benjamin Nsia, is downplaying impact of Sonia Sogli's shutdown on power supply in the country. The independent power producing firm today shut down its operations due to debt owed by the Electricity Company of Ghana running to more than $200 million. Nsia noted that government should have avoided this challenge.
As a country, based on our installed capacity of about 5,000 plus our dependable of about 4,008, if 500 or even less than 600 megawatt is withdrawn from the power pool, I think that shouldn't have a problem on power distribution. There should be stable power because already we are producing excess power to supply households and firms. So sudden cutting off shouldn't be a problem. But the challenge is that the other infrastructure that are supposed to produce power are lying idle because some of them might not even have oil or liquid fuel to supply or to generate power, or maybe the thermal side is also not having the necessary natural gas because in recent times Ghana National Gas Company Limited its operation trouble was not working. So because of that, it will have challenge with respect to security of power, that is availability of it, and also the supply of it in terms of the quality of supply of it to our various households and firms.
An energy expert, Benjamin Insia. Now, senior manager at financial advisory firm Deloitte Dennis Brown has described World Bank's inflation forecast for next year as expected. The bank in its outlook projected that inflation for 2025 will hit 11.5%. Mr. Brown tells Joy Business Development shows that the country may now hit the much eluded single-digit target earlier than expected.
Going on that path that, look, you're going to be on the program till 2026. So if you are going to continue implementing the measures as we have, planned and agreed, then it's very likely you're going to get closer and closer to the single-digit inflation and to possibly get there before you exit the program. So if you take it in context, all of this is playing out. They are believing in the measures that they have agreed with government, that government is rolling out, and expecting that will, take us very close to the single-digit inflation, right? And it's possible. Why?
Senior manager at financial advisory firm Deloitte Dennis Brown. The city is going through what can be described as price connection and should not be surprised in the current woes. Now, that's according to financial economist Professor Lord Mensah. It is coming at a time that the city is going through some challenges, with some saying that we could see some serious pressures in the coming week. Let's hear more from Professor Lord Mensah, who thinks that what is happening could be described as a true exchange levels.
Ghana currency to the city is overpriced. I mean, the true exchange rate level is not what we see on the market. It has been suppressed for some time as a result of the debt suspension. So now that we've started resuming, the payment of debt, we should see the true level of the city. And so if you don't get a gain, all right, as expected, that is how it's supposed to be. We don't have enough reserves as a country. While other countries are boasting of 1 year reserves and all those, we are talking about 3.4 months. And that is not enough to talk about a country that will have a stable currency.
Financial economist Professor Lord Mensah. Now, ride-hailing firm Bolt is advising riders and customers to take advantage of the various insurance package introduced on the service as part of its safety features. This follows moves by the company to improve safety of its business partners. Senior Operations Manager at Bolt Ghana, Henry White, has been speaking to Joy Business after launching the new safety campaign for riders in Accra.
So, a lot of accidents happening, right, where we had riders or drivers getting injured in the process, and, their concern was that what is Bolt doing for us? I was on a trip, maybe your driver drove recklessly or your rider, distracted me, I got into an accident, like, what are you doing for me as a customer, right? So this informed our decision to introduce, to partner with Star Insurance, and then introduce this insurance policy to basically give also that level of assurance and safety and security actually to our drivers and riders, that once you take a trip on Bolt, you are covered, right? Just enjoy your ride.
Senior Operations Manager at Bolt Ghana, Henry White. Now, Rana Motors has introduced the fifth generation of its Kia Sportage onto the Ghanaian market as part of its 30th anniversary. Chief Operating Officer at Rana Motors, Kasimo Dimat, says that the fifth generation Kia Sportage, which is still assembled here in Ghana, offers some serious qualities for Ghanaians.
To mark 3 decades of outstanding success, Kia has equipped a new special edition of the 2024 Sportage with enhanced specification focusing on convenience and safety, while further elevating the model's considerable luxury and design appeal. As Rana Motors, proud to celebrate its 30th milestone with 30 unique Kia Sportages today. We honor not just the vehicle, but also the unwavering support from our customers, from Ghanaians, and the loyalty from patrons of this masterpiece called Sportage.
Chief Operation Officer at Rana Motors, Kasim Odema, speaking at the launch of the 5th generation Kia Sportage, which is actually assembled here in Ghana. And that's all for business on Newsnight.
Thank you very much, George Riafi, with the latest from the world of business. And it's time for Musbao to give us what's happening in the world of sports. Really, I'm tired.
Well,
okay.
There's so much. Well, the big question is whether Otuado is going to stay or he is going to be shown the exit door. Well, former vice president. Well, still a question because we haven't heard from the FA or Otuado himself, but former vice president of the association, George Afriyie, he is back in Otuado to continue as head coach of the Black Stars. He says that despite the struggles of the team in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers, he believes that Otuado should be given the time to learn on the job, especially with the World Cup qualifiers coming up, to turn things around and give Ghana a chance of qualifying for the World Cup.
For me, I'm not one of those who will say we have to sack Otto. We are not sacking Otto. We have to keep faith with him and make sure that he continues the process he has started. Because remember, we still have the World Cup qualifying where he is still the coach.
Yes.
So we have to still give him the needed support. But for going for this current AFCON, let's accept that we are out and allow Otto to take his decision and learn on the job. I mean, for me, I think that we should allow him to learn on the job and then we move forward. That's all I can see.
Well, in England, they have a new coach, and it's Thomas Tuchel, and it follows the exit of Gareth Southgate some 3 months ago. And this is Thomas Tuchel's first appointment in international football, having previously taken charge of Borussia Dortmund, PSG, and of course Chelsea. Is expected to lead the England national team to the 2026 World Cup, which he is targeting to win for them. The first trophy in so many years. He's been speaking, actually.
It's a new role. It's a new schedule, also for me, from coming from club football. But it's FA with the biggest tradition. It's the Three Lions, the country with the most competitive league, with an extraordinary squad of players, and of course competing with this country and with this national team, with this group of players for the biggest prize in world football was.
Yeah, that's Thomas Tuchel. Which coach will be good for the Black Stars? All right, that's all we have for you.
Thank you very much, Musbao. Now, eco-conscious civil society organizations, including the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining, have taken on President Akufo-Addo for reiterating claims he has placed his presidency on the line despite the political risk. During his thank you tour in the Northeast region, the president explained the reason behind one of the famous quotes made in July 2017.
In the mining districts of the country, the MPP did very badly, largely because the NDC presidential candidate and the party had got around the mining areas and saying that the policy that I was implementing of trying to stop Galamsey would be reversed when he came to power, and that those who were already in jail for offenses, the Galamsey offenses, all of them would be amnestied. When I said I was putting my presidency on the line, that's what I meant. That I was prepared to take the political risk involved in trying to deal with this Galamsey phenomenon.
He also challenged NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama to clarify his stance on the fight against illegal mining.
Today, he's saying that no, he doesn't believe in jailing, that he's against Galamsey, that he will enforce the law. So once again, we have to ask ourselves, Mr. J.M., where do you stand? What are you telling the people of Ghana? Because every time you speak from one corner of your mouth and you speak from another corner of your mouth.
Well, there have been reaction to the president's commitment to the fight against illegal mining. Lead convener of the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining, Dr. Ken Ashigbe, says the president reneged on his promise.
For me, in all of this, it's not about effort. It's about result. If you have the situation where you have turbidity of water getting to 14,000 NTUs in August, that definitely is not a result that shows that actually the president had his presidency on the line.
Well, it's time for Climate Focus, and Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin takes us to the White Volta Basin and how community-driven solutions are helping to improve disaster readiness and climate adaptation.
Since most of the population within the Volta Basin relies on agriculture, extreme weather events like floods and droughts resulting in significant crop losses impacting their primary source of income. Samuel, Joshua and Alfred's works seek to build resilience among these communities as they are highly vulnerable to the impacts of climate-related disasters and have limited livelihood options.
So we need to build a resilience for these people. We need to make sure we come out with adaptation strategy so that in the near future they can survive the climate extreme that is happening globally, and for that matter Ghana, and for that matter the White Basin as a catchment.
I hope we all know what a palm tree is.
One of the leading researchers, Professor Thompson Ano at the Department of Meteorology and Climate Science, leads the research using a multi-method approach to create risk narratives and improve climate modeling.
We are talking about the people that are most vulnerable. So these are the people that we are targeting. And then looking at how they are impacted by flood and then drought, we will put certain adaptation strategies in place so that it will build their resilience.
He knows that current interventions for drought and flood affected communities are often short-term and inadequate, providing temporary relief but failing to address the underlying issues which persist long after the initial support has ended.
This time we want to build their capacity so that they can cope with it and then sustain it so that their livelihood will be better.
Professor Ano stresses the need for community cooperation, collaboration and sharing of experience throughout the project to guarantee the development of effective solutions.
Climate Focus is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging gaps for positive youth development, and the Climate Development Knowledge Network.
Well, that's our climate focus, and it's time for our This Able series, and radio definitely does get results. Isaiah Amadou Awuku, a student at the University of Ghana, once endured the grueling task of pushing his manual wheelchair 26 kilometers every week to attend lectures. His story definitely inspired an overwhelming response of compassion. In a touching turn of events, Isaiah has received 2 new electronic wheelchairs donated by the Ghana Statistical Association and friends from Arizona and Texas in the U.S. Isaiah's heart remains set on giving back. Emmanuel Jivenu has more.
I don't know how will I express that gratitude.
Isaiah's call for help has been answered. Today, he has not 1, but 2 electronic wheelchairs. The Ghana Statistical Association stepped forward, providing an electronic wheelchair, a full scholarship for his master's degree, textbooks, and financial support for his upkeep. Professor Nicholas Nsowa-Nuyama is the president of the association.
We have for you the electronic wheelchair, books to aid your studies, and then your future education.
A group of friends in Arizona and Texas, USA, also came through, purchasing another electronic wheelchair for Isaiah.
My words cannot express it to the full length. I'm grateful. And I say, may God bless you.
Grateful for the generosity he has received, he believes it's only right to extend that same kindness to someone in similar situation.
I'm not the only person in this one. I'm planning on giving out to someone also like me that will support his or her movement.
Isaiah's journey, once marked by struggle, is now filled with hope. With these new resources, he is closer than ever to achieving his academic dreams, navigating campus with ease. Thanks in part to the Ghana Statistical Association, the group of friends residing in Texas and Arizona. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News.
And that's our Disabled series. And it's time for me to take you to the Central Region for National Science and Maths Quiz. There's a school somewhere in Accra. If you attended it and you call yourselves Old Toms, please gather around this evening. I have news for you. The entire news is dedicated to you this evening. And your leader, Evan Spencer, will try and find wherever he is and smoke him out. I'm told that a school called Okwapeman SHS delivered a masterclass performance, knocking, they are just one-time champion, St. Thomas Aquinas. They say God is an old Tom. And they've proven today that God is certainly not an old Tom. And guess what? It's not just Okwapeman. Edu Krom Presby SHTS. And that's how Thomas Aquinas went out from the 1-8 stage. Well, my colleague Jacqueline Ansmayabwa has more in this report.
The contest began with hopes high for St. Thomas Aquinas, but things quickly took a surprising turn.
Yes, Emmanuel. H3PO4 minus.
Okwapeman Senior High School, determined to prove that underdogs can have their day, came out swinging from the start, slowly but surely building their lead. By the time the final bell rang, they had racked up 48 points, punching their tickets to the 1A stage and leaving St. Thomas Aquinas in the dust.
St. Thomas Aquinas Senior High School had 28 points, and Okwapeman School wins with 48 points.
For St. Thomas Aquinas, a team that once proudly held the National Science and Maths Quiz Trophy, it was a day of disappointment.
We are feeling very sad because it didn't go the way it was supposed to go. So
the feeling was exciting, but it didn't go our way. So hopefully next year.
The mood couldn't have been more different on the winning side as Okwapeman students celebrated their victory.
Jacqueline Ansmayabwa joins me on the line for more from today's contest and what else to expect. Really interesting times for St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yes, Mr. Good evening to you. And well, yes, this evening, St. Thomas Aquinas, their contest was earlier, the Old Toms, but we've seen a student of theirs trending who was part of the contestants, that's Anthony Chang. And he actually shared that it was their own mistake that cost them the contest. That was what he said.
Oh, he spoke
to you. But then apart from
that,
the last contest for the day, we saw some intense one out there. It was between 3 Kumasi schools, and that's the Wanyako Senior High School, Adventure Senior High School, and Kenya Senior High School. They went head-to-head, but then in the last round, when we started from beginning to the 4th round, it was SDA, that's Adventure Senior High School, but then KUSC Senior High School. Today there has been some interesting contests, and tomorrow we are expecting to have the last contest for the preliminary stage.
Okay. Well, we look forward to that, and we know that St. Francis Xavier are also out. They were beaten by Konongo, a senior high school, and then also St. Joseph's SHS. So Konongo is through. St. Francis Xavier Junior Seminary, they are out. Charlie, the times are not good.
Another year, another NSMQ, another here we are. Yeah, man, what's up?
I did for you. What
All
are we
right.
talking about today?
Well, you know Breast Cancer Awareness Month,
Yes,
so we're doing the survivor stories. So today we have a survivor joining us and her son and other members of her family.
Well, President Akufo-Addo says former President John Dramani Mahama should debate. Let me leave you with that, and then you bring in the strong and sassy team.
Please.
That's
Thank
it for
you.
Newsnight.
He's somebody who's reliable, whose word can be trusted, who is consistent, and who is clear-minded. And that is why some of us are saying, in fact, the majority of us in Ghana are saying, We want him and Bawumia to debate the issues in our country. Why is John Mahama running away from the debate? Bawumia says he's ready any day for the debate. Why is Mahama running away from the debate? The people of Ghana deserve the debate so they can see freely who is doing what and saying what and representing what. Mr. Mahama, which is which? What should the Ghanaian people take from you as your position on the free senior high school? Is it safe with you? Are you going to continue it, or you're going to review it? Are you going to cancel it? None of those do we know from you. Nobody should be allowed to be president who cannot answer these questions straightforward, yes or no.